Good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Kelly Lamb. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at Miele. Bienvenue, welcome, willkommen. Many of you are at home, safe with your families. In Toronto right now, it's roughly shortly after 5 p.m. And in the West Coast, Vancouver, we should be around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We wanted to bring to you, while you're at home, Miele Live. And many of you have asked us numerous questions while you've been at home, whether it's about services that we're currently offering, whether it's about products that you own in your home, or in fact, some of you are really curious about purchasing our products and have some additional questions. So Miele Live is really intended to be able to, for us to share with you information that you're looking for. We're going to cover various topics. This morning, we did a session earlier on Miele standalone coffee machines. We did how to best load your dishwashers at 3 o'clock. And we're going to continue with various different topics during the course of the remainder of this week and into next week. So if you have new ideas or topics that you want us to cover, be sure to email us. Pour ceux d'entre vous qui ont demandé pour des sessions en français, on travaille actuellement d'avoir des sessions dans les semaines qui viennent. So Miele Live is totally interactive. You can either log in via your YouTube account and ask us questions live, or if you're watching on mielelive.ca, you can actually, in the comment section below, leave us a question, and during this half-hour session, it may be a bit longer today at 45 minutes, we'll be able to answer your questions for you. So one topic that we got a lot of questions on is around our steam oven. And last week we did a very introductory session on the different type of ovens that we have, but we thought we'd bring to you today actually some live demonstrations in regards to steam, and that's kind of why I'm dressed the way I am right now. So I'm actually here with my colleague Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn.
Hello, everyone.
So we're actually going to cover for you today some live demonstrations. So you're going to see a bit of back and forth between our cooking stations. We're practicing responsible social distancing as well. So Marilyn's going to be working on that side of the kitchen and a bit over here, and I'm going to work on this station here. So let's get things kicked off. I'm going to hand it over to you, Marilyn. I think your first item that you're doing, a lot of people just has asked the question about the versatility of the steam oven. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, so what I thought we would actually do is to make our steamed chocolate chip cake. It's one of my favorites that I make, and it's very easy and simple to make. So why don't we get started with this right now? So I'm going to actually add 2 cups of sifted flour in a medium bowl. And I'm going to add also the baking powder, 1 tablespoon, baking soda, 1 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm just going to set that to the side over here. And then in our mixer, I am going to get together the wet ingredients. So this is 3 whole eggs, 1 large egg white only. And then I'm going to mix this for approximately 4 minutes. And while this is on, what I'm going to do is, Kelly, I'm going to actually send our viewers back to you, because I'm just going to continue with this, with the process of putting the cake together. And then we'll come back and see what the next steps would be.
Sounds good, Marilyn. Thanks. So over here, I'm going to show you one of the most popular recipes that we've actually taken from our Miele Culinary Institute classes. Many of you had questions about the menu cooking function in our steam ovens. So this soup, actually, we're going to use menu cooking to make this vegetable consomme soup. So, you know, we're heading into spring. There's some beautiful vegetables out there. So we're going to do a menu cooking for you. This soup is a vegetable consomme. We have some diced potatoes into about 1/2 inch cubes. We have some beautiful fresh spring beans, green beans, and we have some diced carrots as well into 1/2-inch cubes. So we're going to walk over here, and I'm going to show you on this oven here how menu cooking works. So hopefully you'll be able to see that. When you turn your oven on, you're going to go into special modes. And inside special modes, you'll see one of the first options is menu cooking. I'm going to select menu cooking. I'm going to do vegetables, as I have 3 vegetables. And it doesn't matter what order we go in. I'm going to start with beans because it's right here. They're green beans. It's going to ask me whether they're whole, they're chopped. They're chopped into roughly about 3/4 inch strips. I like my beans really al dente, so I'm going to go to that end to make sure that there has a bit of a bite to it. I'm going to hit OK. Then it's going to ask me whether I want to add another item. Yes, we have actually 2 more ingredients we need to add. Again, it's another vegetable. In this particular case, my next item, I'm just going in alphabetical order because it's quicker. I'm going to say carrots. In this case, it's asking for baby carrots, chardonnay carrots, or imperator carrots. So I'm going to select imperator carrots. So imperator carrots are your standard long carrots you'll find at the grocery store. Sometimes you'll find them in different colors, but that's imperator carrots. They're going to be in small pieces, again, 1/2-inch cubes. I'm going to go, they're diced. Carrots I like, let's call it slightly off in the middle. I do like a bit of a bite to it when I make mine. And then again, I can add another food item. I'm going to go vegetables again. The last item I have is potatoes. Now in this particular case, it asked me to put the potatoes in a perforated tray. So this is the perforated tray right here. And the reason why specifically for potatoes is it takes a longer time to cook. So obviously the steam can also penetrate via the bottom, cooks a little bit quicker, more evenly. So I'm going to hit OK. My potatoes are unpeeled. I like them a little starchy in this case. They're small. And basically I can do 3 items. So now menu cooking, it asked me to add the potatoes. Because that takes the longest time to cook, and I would just go ahead, put my potatoes in here. Now, because of time, to make sure we can show you a finished product, I've actually already got the potatoes going in here, so in a minute, it'll prompt me for the next vegetable that takes the next longest amount. So the oven really does all the calculations for you. So that's basically how the menu cooking works, and we'll see the rest of the soup happen in a minute. I'm going to pass it over back to Marilyn in a second so that she can show you how she finishes off the steamed banana cake. So Marilyn, I'm going to pass it right back to you now.
Thank you, Kelly. So what I've actually done is after everything was mixed, I added our dry ingredients and as well as the chocolate chips. And I'm just mixing that in right now. So folding it in gently. I'm just about to pour it into our So by doing that now, it's just pouring that in, and that was so easy to put together. Okay. And then we're just going to go over to the oven. I'm just going to actually put it under operating mode, select the, operating mode, select the steam cooking, and program the time. So this recipe takes approximately 45 minutes. I'm going to open the oven. I'm going to actually set it onto the metal rack in here. Close the oven, turn the oven on, and in 45 minutes, we'll have a very tasty steamed chocolate chip cake.
So Marilyn, sorry to interrupt you
Sorry.
over there.
Yes.
But the oven's calling us over here. So we were talking about menu cooking. So the menu cooking now, because like I said, I had to start the potatoes already on this oven here. This is our pure steam oven. But as you can see, it's saying add the green beans. So the menu cooking is very intelligent. It asked me to add the green beans. So I've got some lovely fresh green beans here. I'm simply going to put them on the tray. And I'm now going to go ahead and put the green beans into the oven as it tells me to do. Close the door. And now it's going to preheat again and finish up on the menu cooking. And the last item will be the carrots. So I'll wait for them to ask for the carrots. So while we're over here, actually, we had a lot of questions last week about fresh versus frozen. How does that work in our steam oven? So we really actually wanted to demonstrate to you today a very simple demonstration. So I've got a perforated tray here. We have some lovely fresh broccoli into florets. So I'm actually simply going to put that in. They're washed and cut into florets. Then I've got frozen as well. So very similar in size. So I think that's very important in the cooking process. If things are cooking at the same time, they really should be the same size. And that's why even with the vegetable consomme, the carrots and the potatoes, we've kept it the same bite size. But in this case, because we're going to try to cook these at the same time, we're going to see what the results are. No oil needed, nothing really needed. You're going to get the fresh taste of the broccoli. I'm now going to walk this over to our, we're going to again use the steam function. But in this particular case, I'm going to use our combination steam oven, but I'm going to only use it in steam mode. I'm going to go ahead and place the broccoli right in there, frozen and fresh. So the fresh is on the right side, and the frozen is on the left. I'm going to go into MasterChef mode. I'm going to do vegetables. I'm going to do broccoli. They're florets. I would say, let's say that these are medium florets. The one function you have is also blanching. So say I wanted to do oyster sauce with beef stir fry with broccoli, I could actually go ahead and blanch the broccoli using the steam function as well. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do some steam cooking. I like my broccoli with a bit of a crunch, so I'm going to go al dente again. I'm going to hit OK. It says start now. And that's really as easy as that. After preheating, it's about 2 minutes to get done, and then we'll see what the results are between fresh and frozen. So while we wait for that, a lot of you had questions about the versatility of eggs. People love eggs now for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, high protein. Marilyn, maybe you can talk a little bit about what we can do with eggs and a demonstration with eggs.
Sure, that'll be great actually. So many of you may know, and those that are interested in our steam oven as well, is that instead of boiling eggs on the cooktop, we have an automated program that's in our oven here. So we can go through the automatic program through MasterChef, and we can select eggs, and then you have your choice of actually making soft, medium, or hard-boiled eggs. So what I've thought of doing actually this time was that if I didn't want to do that, what's another way of making my eggs? I can actually select, turn the oven on again, go operating mode, and then you'll press steam. And I know that from testings that we've done here is that 3 minutes will give you the perfect soft-boiled egg. So I've already timed it right now for 3 minutes. I'm going to put the tray in. Close the door. And now in 3 minutes, once the eggs are cooked, I'm going to actually cut the eggs so that you'll see how nice and runny they are as well. A lot of people, they like making eggs and they think it's so long, and sometimes you've got to be careful that if you do it on a cooktop, is forgetting that, all of a sudden your attention is gone and you're running to the door and you forget that the eggs are boiling, and all of a sudden now you don't have soft-boiled eggs, you have medium or hard-boiled. with our oven, because I've programmed it for 3 minutes, it will beep, and that's going to be a perfect time for it to come out. Another way of for eggs that we like as well, I like this at home, is making a poached egg. So I just take a ramekin, I lightly oil it a little bit, I crack an egg right inside, and once I do that, again, if I do want the soft boiled, I will put it under the custom program, which is just basically selecting steam for 3 minutes. Once it's done, I just can take this, if I'm making some eggs Benedict, I'll just actually, it will slide really nicely outside of the ramekins. And I know, Kelly, since I hear something going on over there.
So sorry, Marilyn, to interrupt. We're doing this session live for you, so we want to keep, it may be a bit of back and forth. But the menu cooking has asked me to put in the carrots now. So again, we have these beautiful Ontario carrots right now. I'm going to go ahead, I've diced these carrots, and I'm going to go ahead and put them right in, as the oven's telling me to. So I've used a solid tray here. I'm going to slide that right in. And again, once this last step is done, we'll actually show you how to put this soup together. It's one of our favorite soups to do here, especially as we head into spring. There's so many great vegetable options that you can choose from. So Marilyn, sorry for interrupting you.
No,
but again, we're live cooking right now, so
yes.
I'm going to let it go back to you.
That's right. I actually had a question for you, Kelly, because you had mentioned how you enjoy eating eggs, and what's your way of preparing your eggs as well?
Yeah, so for sure. So, we love eggs. I think it's so versatile. So, your ramekin idea about poaching, we love to do that at home. So on a Sunday morning when we have a bit more time, we'll actually saute some baby spinach, put that at the bottom of the ramekin,
right.
Actually crack the egg on top and then steam the egg, so you really get almost like a poached egg. And we eat it right out of the ramekin. So I think
nice.
that's a really nice way. And I know that, we have very big family Christmases, up to 30 people.
Yes.
And one of my mom's favorite things to do is deviled eggs.
Yes.
And you got to imagine
right.
to do for 30 people, and I think, Marilyn, maybe you could, whether I cook 1 egg, 10 eggs, 20 eggs,
right.
do I have to change the parameters in there?
No, actually, that's a great question. Whether you're making, as you mentioned, 1, 10, 20 eggs, 30 eggs as well, is that once you set it in there, and especially if it's a hard-boiled, because that's what you would want for deviled eggs, is you'll set the program for hard-boiled eggs. Once it's completed, they'll all come out consistently the same.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about guessing, is one going to be less, or it'll just be consistent.
Yeah. So I know,
Yeah.
like at Christmas time, unfortunately or fortunately, it's really easy. I actually have to cook the eggs for my mom and bring them over to her house so she can put the deviled eggs.
Right.
We can just pop it in the steam oven to go ahead and do that.
That sounds great.
I think I'm smelling your cake over there, Marilyn.
Yes.
So why don't we take a walk over there? I'll let you go over there. But the versatility of the steam oven is fantastic, and I think that's why we'd love to show you this cake. So I will let you take it over from there.
Okay. So as you noticed, I did put a cake in the on the other side of the room, what I was making, the steamed chocolate chip cake. But I actually wanted it to show you the cake ready and done. So I went ahead earlier and I prepared this, and I heard it beeping so that it's ready to come out. But it does have to sit for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to invert it onto a plate and then show you the finished product with that. But while that is cooling, another nice feature that I like to do at times is like to melt chocolate sometimes just to drizzle it. You can eat this cake cold, you can have it warm. And so if I can just go back here, in our combi steam oven, if you actually go under the MasterChef program and you scroll right to the end, there's a function here which says special. And as you notice here, it says melt chocolate. So I can actually put a bowl of chocolate in there, and I'm going to do that while we're waiting, and it will take approximately 20 minutes for the chocolate to melt. So, but at the same time, once I invert this, what I actually am doing, I'll come back again because I am melting some chocolate on our induction cooktop. So right now it's melting. It's been sitting there for 2-3 hours, and you can still see the actual chocolate chip shape. And once that's done, my cake has been inverted. I'm going to stir it, and that's when you're going to see how melted it is, and we'll drizzle it over the cake as well. Kelly, what is happening on your side now?
So we still need a couple of minutes for the broccoli and also for the soup, but as I said, we were doing this with a vegetable stock. So actually on our range top here, I've been actually simmering a vegetable stock that we've actually homemade. We do it here, and we use very basic ingredients. We use onions, we have some fresh thyme, we have some bay leaves, we have some fresh carrots, we have cloves of garlic. In this particular case, we've also used ginger. To make this stock that we do, we really try not to waste, and a lot of the flavor vitamins are actually in some of the peels. So when making the stock, we'll just slice we'll just half the onion. We'll actually leave the carrot peels on. In fact, for the peels that were used for the dice of the soup, we actually threw those peels into our stock as well. And it's a very fresh soup. It can be frozen. And the amazing thing I actually want to show you in this particular case is, so this stock is actually simmering, but you can barely actually see the flame. I don't know if the camera can get close enough, but I'm going to bring the flame up a little bit. So this has actually been on the whole time on what we call our true simmer. And if you tune into our session on Wednesday, we're going to talk a little bit more about our cooktop options. But the other thing you could have done with the soup is, say you actually had the soup pre-made in the fridge, frozen even. When I actually did the menu cooking and put the potatoes in a solid tray, you could actually have put the soup in there. I wouldn't have even needed to warm it up here, and it could be actually warming up as the vegetables themselves were cooking. So that's another option in regards to the stock. So I'm just going to check the oven. I hear a lot of beeping done here. So the broccoli is actually pretty much finished. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Now, there is a steam reduction function in the oven itself. And you will see in the other ovens where when we use a steam reduction, a lot of people have the question is, how much steam comes out? With the steam reduction, it really reduces the amount of steam that comes out of the oven. Our soup portion is actually going through steam reduction, so I'm going to let that go through, but I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to pull the broccoli out. So actually, it's not even that hot, to be honest with you. I can actually go ahead and pull that out. I'm going to take that right over here. So as you can see, really the steamed and the frozen actually have basically cooked in the exact same time. They still have that same firmness. I'm actually going to give one a try here. It has a bit of a bite to it, which I like. I'm just going to test one of these. It's hot. And you'll find the texture very, very similar. So the great thing about steam cooking is you really get the true flavors. I really don't even need to put salt on this. It actually tastes so, so good. You can see the vibrant colors of the florets themselves. It's an easy way to really taste the true natural flavor of the vegetables. So there's your steamed to frozen. You'll find that timing is very, very similar when it comes to actually cooks at the same time, frozen and fresh. So Marilyn's also going to show you something as well that is frozen and fresh. It was a question we got a lot during the session last week. Marilyn, I'm going to pass it over to you for the next item.
Thanks, Kelly. So one of the questions that came up was cooking dumplings. And so I thought what better way to show this was by having some frozen dumplings and also fresh dumplings. And just like the broccoli, it will cook for the same length of time. So I'm actually going to come over here and I'm going to select my operating mode again. And because I don't have an actual program that's set for dumplings, I'm just going to set this for 12 minutes. Again, because it is steam, you don't have to worry about what level that you would put the tray in. So I'm just going to press OK, and it's going to do the preheat. Once it completes the preheat, then in 12 minutes, I'll pull this out, and you'll see that it's both been done at the same length of time. And while I'm actually waiting for this to be done, Kelly, are you almost ready with your
I'm
side?
actually ready for the soup. So I'm ready to plate the soup. Okay. So I'd love to show you how the soup plates up. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to open the oven. It's gone through its steam reduction process. So you'll know in this case, actually there's no steam coming out. So I've actually let it go through its proper steam reduction process using menu cooking. So I've got my carrots here. I'm going to pull out my green beans as well. And then I'll finally pull out my potatoes here, and I'm going to show you how we plate this. If you were to actually come to one of our classes once our Miele Experience Centers are open, it's a really popular dish. It's a very simple dish that we do. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a serving spoon here. So all we basically do is we take some of the vegetables, which are perfectly done. Some of the beans here. They actually still have a bit of a bite, which is nice. You can place some of the beans there. I've got our carrots. A bit more carrots there. And again, I don't think I need to add salt because you really want the natural flavor in that, and the stock is salted. So I don't think it needs additional salt. I like pepper, so I'm just going to add a bit of pepper into the bowl there. I'm going to go ahead and, again, turn off our stock that's been simmering. I'm going to ladle the soup, or I'm going to pour the soup into the bowl here. And you may be wondering why we have such rich color in our vegetable stock. So we actually roast some of the vegetables before doing that. And I'm going to have some fresh thyme just to add a bit of freshness. I'm going to take some fresh thyme, pulling it against the stem, finishing it off there. I like a bit more thyme. And so this is actually I'm going to put that out there. And this is actually our spring vegetable menu cooking steamed soup. So hopefully you'll try that at home. You can try with any vegetable that you really want to, whether it's corn, butternut squash. There's so many options out there, but give it a try. It's a delicious soup and really easy to make. So Marilyn, I think you are ready over there as well. So I'm going to turn it back to you because I think your eggs are ready.
That's right. My eggs are ready. I took them out of the oven. I just stopped the cooking process by putting it into an ice water there. And what I'm going to just do is, I just would like to cut this to just show our viewers how nice and runny the eggs are. So for soft-boiled eggs. So as you can see here, that they're nice. And also remember, while we were going in between, it sat for a little bit longer, but normally it just comes out and it will be nice and runny for there. Okay, Kelly, so this is completed on our end here. And did we have some questions from our viewers?
Yeah, so I think one question, Marilyn, that has come in is in regards to the ovens that we're using.
Yes.
The combination steam oven, our combi oven, as well as our steam oven. When you're using the combination oven and the steam function, it actually has to go through a rinsing cycle after.
Right.
But it doesn't actually have to do that on the steam oven. So one viewer has asked the question, why is that?
Well, it doesn't have to go through a rinsing part on the steam oven, and that's a great question, is because we don't have a convection bake function for the oven. So when we're doing a rinse, is because we've cooked something with the combi steam and we've steamed and we've roasted. So it wants to release any buildup that's been created by grease from cooking, anything that has an oil deposit on here. So it wants to release that so that when it cools down, you just would wipe the oven out on the inside. With steam, you're actually, once the process is finished, you can just take a tea towel that you have and you would actually wipe the whole interior on the inside of the oven and you're good to go. So you don't have to worry about it rinsing or soaking, and that would strictly be for the combi steam. Thank you.
So I'm going to head over here because it's going to be easier for Jordan, our camera guy.
Yes.
So the other question, Marilyn, we had was, in some cases, I know when I did the menu cooking for the potatoes, it specifically asked me to use a perforated tray, but in other cases it doesn't specify. Correct. So when should we use perforated versus a solid tray pan?
So another great question actually for that is when you are, when would you use that? So in your case, when you made the consomme soup and with the different vegetables, because there was nothing that was with water that was in there, so if like we're, let's just say cooking cabbage, you may have water that's in there, so obviously you want a solid container. With the perforated, what that does, it allows the steam process to go through the trays themselves, and then that cooks it as well. That helps in assisting it to cook because there's no blockage down below, so the air is circulating, the heat is circulating around the actual trays.
Okay.
So that's really when you would be using one or the other. Or if you're making a dish like rice, obviously, we would have water that would be in there.
Right,
A solid tray for that.
Okay, perfect. Is your cake ready to flip? I'll
Yes.
let you go check.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. So again, the steam function comes in both our pure steam oven that's available, or our combination steam convection oven. You can get that in two different sizes for the steam convection. The XL, which is 24 wide by 18 in height. We have trim kits if you want to put that over a 30-inch oven. In the case of the XL, the larger capacity, it's a 24 by 24 in dimension, and the steam combination is available in both of those. So, Marilyn, I think your cake is ready.
Yes.
So we'll head over and show you the results of this steam cake. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
So I just inverted the cake, and obviously my top is on the bottom. And because I would like it to show the other way around, I'm just going to tip this over again with another plate. When I remove that, there's our beautiful steamed banana chip cake. So as I mentioned to you, you can either eat it, enjoy it warm, you can let it cool down completely, it's totally up to you. Now, one thing I do want to point out, when we are steam cooking, this is not coming out from an oven, so it won't have a golden brown color as if you're baking a cake from a convection oven. Because it is steam, the coloring will just stay basically whatever the color of the batter is that you've used, that's what it's going to be. So I can actually, if I want to, we'll be able to cut this as well. And I wanted to just show you with our chocolate. So Jordan, are you able to see that? So the chips are right here, and because I've had it on induction, and induction, especially from melting chocolate, normally you would use a double boiler, so you would have a pot underneath with water, and then you would sit the chocolate on the top in another pan. But as you can see here, it's directly on the burner, and everything has melted really nicely. So I'm going to actually, if I wanted to, I can just pour some of the chocolate on top of the cake here. So I'm just going to actually drizzle this. Wants to give me thick chunks on here right now, which is fine. For those of you that like a lot of chocolate on on the cake, that's fine. And I'm going to leave just some of it without the actual chocolate on there. Okay, so in a few seconds, I'm going to actually cut into the cake here, but I did I hear anything beeping on that side, Kelly?
No, not yet, actually. There is a question, though, Marilyn. So Cynthia out there who's watching us right now,
Yes.
Cynthia has the question is, how bad is it to leave the grease filter in while steaming or baking?
Well, it's not really how bad it would be for this. When you're leaving the filter inside, it's because you are using it for roasting. That kind of goes more to our combi steam question, really, with the filter. Because you're roasting and you don't want the oil to go into the the fan cavity that's in the back of the oven. So it just means that you're preventing that buildup, so it's fine. Without it, when you're removing it for baking, it just means that the fan is circulating and more air is coming through. So as long as you've been cleaning your filter, that still is going to assist it. But just remember to take it out for baking, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
The next question we had from a viewer was in regards to with menu cooking, can you actually do 2 meats or more than 1 meat in it?
That's a great question. Yes, you can. You can select whether you want to make some...
And we can actually show you. So why don't we actually, Jordan, if you want to come over this way for a sec, and I'll quickly show you. So remember that menu cooking is available only with the steam function. So if I go into special modes again, I go menu cooking. I did vegetables earlier because that was what I had, but you can actually do from meats, vegetables, fish, rice, legumes, pasta. You can do various different types of things in there. So your question about meat, so yes, I can go ahead. Now, right now in the automated programs, we have 2 options for you, which is beef or pork. You could select those and then you can add another protein or meat item. Similarly with fish, I can do multiple different types of fish in there. Different fish have different cooking times, so you'll be able to actually go ahead and use the menu cooking, multiple items in there at the same time. So hopefully that's answered your question in regards to multiple meat items at the same time. So Marilyn, I see you starting to try to cut that cake.
Yes.
So I think Jordan will head back over there.
So I've just cut into the cake, and you can see actually how nice and moist that is as well. That's on the inside. So with the chocolate chips, it's going to be nice and chocolatey. Adding the additional chocolate on the top, I'll just turn this way as well. Adding the additional chocolate on top will just make it even more rich tasting as well. But I would definitely encourage you to try this at home. A very simple recipe. It'll be great in the afternoon. If you want to take a break and have one of our cappuccinos, could enjoy that, or a latte macchiato. It really is nice in the afternoon. Or even after a meal, if you've had a dinner and you want a light dessert, definitely you'll be able to enjoy this.
So Marilyn, we have another question coming in right now, and the viewer loves the idea of this cake. You know, as everybody's at home right now, and I think people are doing more and more cooking, spending more time with the kids cooking, the question is, would this actually work with a store-bought cake mix?
Great question, another great question. Yes, it would. You just have to prepare it to obviously put your mix together. And because I did it on the setting where I just basically put a full steam in there, you could actually do that. And depending on how long that the mixture is going to take, so if it says about 50 minutes, you can actually cook it for about 50 minutes. 45 minutes is maybe we should start and see how that would come out. But it would definitely work on a store-bought cake as well. I should say a box cake mix, not a store-bought cake. Yes.
Cake mix,
All
great.
right. How is our, sorry, I'm just wondering the timing that's left there.
Timing, it's still about 5 minutes out.
Great.
Still to go. So
Okay.
we may have to pull it out a little bit early to show what it's at.
Yes,
but,
that's great.
Because timing is running out very quickly on us today. So in regards to menu cooking, you know, I think we showed today menu cooking to cook one dish itself.
Right.
I think on Thursday,
Yes.
you're going to actually do something a little bit different for our viewers, where they're really going to participate with us.
That's right. So I'm going to be making a meal in the evening. So we're going to be making the risotto, carnoli saffron risotto, and then we're also going to be making a steamed salmon. And if you can also purchase a salad of your choice with your dressing to have with the salmon, and then for the dessert, we're actually making a poached cinnamon pears. And I think that is going to take you right from start to finish. And once you're done, you'll be able to enjoy that with your family as well.
Yes.
So
that's on Thursday evening, I think at 5 o'clock.
at 5 o'clock, that's right.
And we're going to be cooking live with you. So go on miele.ca, mielelive.ca, where we'll actually have the recipe for you, because it's going to be a cook along. So that's going to be in real time.
Right.
So we're going to do a risotto, amazingly.
Yes.
Using our menu cooking function in real time, and we're going to use the menu cooking. So this is a different example of menu cooking that's going to allow you to cook one entire meal, ready to eat with your family together in one go. So we're going to go a different way, and again, we encourage you to participate with us. We're going to actually ask any of you that are going to join us for that session to take a picture of your final dish, send it in, post it on Facebook and Twitter, and tag Miele Canada, and we're going to actually select the best looking dish.
Yes.
I'm sure it's going to taste good. You're going to tell us that, but and you're going to have a chance to win a prize with us. So that's going to be on Thursday. But again, be sure to go on mielelive.ca to get the recipes. Make sure you have all the ingredients ready, ideally measured out.
Yes, definitely. I was going to mention that.
Make sure everything's measured out, and we'll have the recipe there for you. So
That's right. Okay.
good. I think we're going to have to pull the dumplings out a little bit early, just to kind of show in the interest of time right now, unfortunately. So Marilyn, I'm going to let you go ahead and do that.
Yep.
And you can see there's 2 minutes left on the steam oven, but I will let you go ahead.
Okay. So normally it would finish through the whole complete time on here. Then I would let it do a steam reduction so that the steam is not coming out. In this case, when I do open this, it's going to actually, it's actually doing a countdown. So I'm just going to actually wait for this countdown for the 52 minutes that's coming on here. 2 seconds, sorry. Oh, minutes, that would be a long time to cook this.
So we actually have another question related to the dumplings.
Yes.
So Sonali, who's watching out there right now, had the question, Marilyn, is, sorry, she missed part of it. What was the temperature and the time for the dumplings?
For the dumpling, that's great. So we want, the temperature was at 212 degrees, so at boiling point, and we just went through operating mode, then selected steam. Once you selected steam, it's going to show 212, and then it's the timing that is left in here. So I programmed it, whether it was fresh or frozen, for 12 minutes, and then I left it, and like right now it's actually doing a countdown, and once that's completed, it'll be all ready as well. So I'm just about ready, and as you can see here, it says steam reduction, so it would normally do that, but I'm going to pull this out for a second, and there'll be a lot of steam that will be coming out. So, but it comes forward. As you notice this, it doesn't just come out and up, it actually kind of comes forward to the side. So once I pull this out, oh, they look really good, really nice. So when it's complete, this is how it will look. And we've put together a little bit of a theme here. So Kelly, we added chili oil, soy sauce.
Yeah, and a bit of sesame oil.
And a bit of sesame oil. So I'm actually just going to drop this in. I'm going to do the homemade dumplings. I'll just put it on that side. And then what I'm just going to do is just grab a spoon. So I can actually just mix that lightly or just leave it like that. And in the end, you're going to have a really nice tasting dumplings for you to enjoy at home as well. So just to recap as well on this, there was frozen, and then we made just small homemade dumplings as well. Put them on the tray at the same time, let it cook for 12 minutes, and then it was all done once it beeped.
Great.
Thank you.
There's several questions now coming in. I think we only can get to one last one. So Veronica asked the question is, with the perforated tray, because the juices or liquid may drip to the bottom.
Right.
What's the best way to actually clean that?
Okay. All these questions that are being asked are really great questions, actually. So the best way to clean this, because if you were using just a steam oven, and we're just steaming at this point for the demo for today, is you just need to take a dishcloth, open the oven, for example, like here, and actually I could just take this dishcloth and I'm just going to wipe the glass doors. I would remove the rack itself, and I would literally just go in and just wipe all of the water that's been dropped on the bottom.
And is that a different process, Marilyn, for the combi steam oven with the rinse cycle?
It would be a different process if you were using the convection roast or convection bake cycle, because you're actually cooking foods that have an oily deposit, and so you want to do the rinse and soak. But if it was just strictly for steam, same process, you just have to wipe it out and you're ready for the next time.
Perfect. And I think same thing, so Marilyn was just showing you with the combi steam oven. With the steam oven, in some ways it's even easier.
Yes.
Because there's no actually dry heat, I can just take my cloth and actually wipe it down and give it a good wipe through. I honestly, we leave the door open to help dry it, but it's as simple as that. So
that's right.
So we hoped, unfortunately we can't get to all the questions, but again, for those questions that we weren't able to answer, we for sure will answer you in the comment section, or we will email you back a response if your question is a little bit more detailed. I just want to answer a couple, or provide you a bit more information. Many of you are asking the questions right now as to what services are we currently offering given the situation that I think we are all in right now. So safety is our number one priority for both our employees and our customers. Our meal experience centers are temporarily closed, but in the meantime, we offer a personalized telephone product consultation. You can request that via miele.ca. You can go there and somebody will get back to you. In that telephone consultation, we also can take phone orders. So if you are interested in specifically buying something, placing an order with us, we can actually do that via telephone with you. We have miele.ca, so that's our online shop. It's open 24/7, of course. So from the convenience of your mobile phone, your home, you can place an order with us. And when it comes to delivery, installation, and technical service, so with delivery and installation, we currently, our Miele installation and delivery teams are available, but obviously due to the environment, we are working very closely with the federal and provincial governments to ensure that we abide by their guidelines and their recommendations. So we have a revised process, obviously, for our delivery teams and our installation teams. Visit miele.ca to find out those details. If you have any questions, our contact center, which is our Miele Contact Center, they are working remotely right now, again, for their safety as well, but they're available to you. Visit miele.ca for the hours there. They can answer any questions that you may have. Our technical service teams are also available to you, again, with modified procedures to ensure the safety of both you, our customers, when we come into your home, as well as our Miele technicians. So that's kind of the current operations as such, but make sure you take advantage of the services that we have for you. I also want to just go over here very, very quickly to cover off. So we actually have a special promotion for you that have joined us today. So I think, Jordan, you can zoom in there. But we have on mieleshop.ca, many of you have asked questions about maintenance of your cooking products. So we actually have, for you that are watching right now, if you enter on your checkout the promo code Miele Live Steam, you'll get an additional 10% off your purchase. We're currently offering free shipping as well. So regardless of what your amount of purchase is, there's free shipping across the board. Another great item that we have to offer you is, right now, as many of you are at home, you can't be physically with your friends and family, but you still want to celebrate, whether it's birthdays, anniversaries. We have actually the Miele e-gift card that's available on Miele, on the Miele shop, so you can purchase that. It's a great gift idea for families and friends that have Miele product or want to buy Miele product. Take advantage of that. So again, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Remember that on Wednesday, we're actually doing another live demonstration specifically on the combination steam convection oven. So we're going to show you some tips and tricks, some recipes that we do there using the combined mode. And on Thursday, we have the live cook-along. So that one's actually going to be really exciting. We're looking forward. Hopefully you and your family can join us for that. Get the children involved. We'd love to cook along with all of you. And very lastly, before we sign off for tonight, on behalf of the Miele team, Marilyn, we want to thank all the frontline workers that are out there right now that are ensuring that those that need medical assistance are getting medical assistance. For all those people working the grocery stores, the restaurants that are available for takeout, to ensure that people are still able to get food into their homes. Again, all the frontline workers that are out there, we want to thank you on behalf of the Miele family for your help in our community. So again, enjoy your evening. Hopefully you guys have a great meal tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed what we've kind of brought to you. Thank you. And we hope to see you again on Wednesday or Thursday. Thank you very much, and good night.